What about changes? Are we going to see anything different this year, or is it going to be pretty much the same routine, the same thing? Not that it's bad.
No, exactly. We try to keep as much as we can, certainly the logistics of the event, we try to maintain them as close to the format as we have over the years. And obviously there's a reason for that. The safety management program is going to be pretty much the same. We're going to have Florida Fish and Wildlife, Miami-Dade Fire Rescue present, U.S. Coast Guard are going to be present and on the course wherever they can be. So from that standpoint, the logistics of the course really haven't changed. Probably the biggest challenge, it's not necessarily a good thing, but the biggest challenge is these marinas that we work with have changed the model in which they operate, and they tend to lose sight of where their livelihood has come from. And for an example, Sea Isle Marina in Miami, they've decided to go to a monthly format or annual contract format, so they don't really deal with transient boaters anymore. So that puts a huge stress on us because we like to use that facility for 30 or 40 or 50 boats at a time at one night to stay over to get rooms there, and so we can conduct our meetings and check everybody in. So that's going to present some challenges both in the Miami side and then down on the other end, down in Key West. Same issues. It's hard for us to deal with the city marina. They're having a tough time with rafting scenarios for boats and such, and maybe there's been a few people in the past that have walked on their dockage and haven't paid for their dockage fees. So these are the kinds of things that unfortunately a small percentage of boaters are responsible for these things, and it reflects poorly on our sport, and it reflects poorly on the club. So it makes it difficult for us to get get dockage in key places. Now that said, we do have modifications to the format. So what's going to be different this year in Miami? A lot more boats are going to be staying at Grove Harbor, at Grove Harbor Marina in Coconut Grove. I'm asking a lot of guys who are launching at T&T Marine Center to hang in there and stay there the night and get their boat out in the morning.
Sure.
We've provided more security, and we've provided more overnight security and lighting at Hullover Park, so that a guy can actually park his truck and his trailer there with his boat on the trailer, leave it parked there overnight, launch it the morning of the poker run, and leave out of Hullover. So we're doing everything we can to modify these facilities and these venues so they're more poker run friendly. Other than that, as far as the activities in Key West, the Poker Run Village is looking strong. A lot of nice displays being planned. A few new people on board, a few newcomers in the marine industry that are going to be on board there. So we've got a very extensive agenda planned there.
So I've been doing these poker runs with you for a few years, and I remember working with you with the dock challenges down in Key West and the Key West Bight, and everybody rafting off, and then trying to figure out who's on the inside, who's on the outside. And kind of like, more importantly, who didn't pay for their dock fee?
Yeah.
You've always been able to really massage that whole deal and overcome incredible logistic challenges for the membership and everybody that participates in the run. But what's going to happen now?
Well, those challenges continue to present themselves along the way, and you've got so many different marinas being involved in the poker run, and some of them really appreciate it, and they do everything they can. They bend over backwards to support the event and take care of the guys. Unfortunately, not all of the poker runners, and sometimes people who aren't even registered for the poker run, they tend to use this party crash mentality. I had a meeting with Sea Isle Marina last week, and they're they're not too excited about dealing with us anymore, because so many boats, for example, last year came and just took empty slips. So they were guys coming in on the poker run and just going and diving right into a slip that belonged to a customer who pays his monthly rental there. And this was creating problems there, and it continues to be a problem in other marinas too, in Key West. So we meet the challenges all the time by trying to be the third party, be the middleman as the club management here, to express our concern and to try to get everybody on board to do things the way they're supposed to be done. At the end of the day, these marina operators, they own a big, expensive piece of real estate, and they need to manage it and monetize it. And above all, they need to have control of their own facility. And so we're doing everything we can to accommodate that. And we're taking on new facilities. For example, in Key West, we're now going to be using Stock Island Marina Village quite a bit more. Beautiful facility, big place, brand new floating docks, very willing and able staff, very accommodating, but it's on Stock Island. So people have to come to grips with the fact that it's a good 15-minute cab ride into town. We're going to try to provide shuttle vans to provide the transportation services that we need. But those are some of the hiccups that are going to happen this year.
We're 3 weeks out from Key West. You've got 125 boats signed up. Is there a deadline? Is there any last-minute guys that can stumble in that day and sign up, or do they need to get on board right now?
Well, the answer is yes and yes and yes. Yes, there's a deadline, and yes, we'll sign a guy up at 11 o'clock the night before. Most likely some guys at 9 o'clock the morning of, but that's the way it is. You know, we always aim to accommodate everybody. We never like to run anybody off, you know. I think I had a conversation with a journalist once upon a time, and they asked me, is the poker run sold out? There's no such thing as a sold out poker run. Get that off, because a poker runner who wants to go, he's going to go.
Where's he going to sleep?
We'll figure that part out. We always do. People do cancel, you know. But to answer your question, we'll always take anybody. The reason that we have deadlines and the reason we like to sit 3 weeks out and have our master list is because we do want people to have a good experience.
Right.
We want it to be a quality experience. We want them to have the dock that they want, or at least the best dock that we can get for them. We want them to have good knowledge of the course and good accommodations in Key West. We want all of their people, when they get their bag of goodies and their team logo isn't on their shirt, they're going to go, why isn't our team logo on our shirt? He's got his. Well, that's because those things take time. Jackie is downstairs compiling team logos so that their team shirts can be branded with their own team name, so they can walk around on Duval Street proudly and say, hey, I'm Team Powerboat Nation. Look at me, I've got my shirt. So those are the kinds of things that help us. Of course, the functions, the restaurants, the dining, the buffets, all those things. We have to get all those things wrapped up as much as we can in advance. So that's why we try to have a 30-day deadline. Of course, all the hotel rooms have 30-day releases on all the rooms anyway. So anybody who books today going forward, it's difficult for us to guarantee that we can get them a room in Key West. They might be staying out in Stock Island. They might be staying in an RV somewhere. They might be staying in Marathon.
Right.